Good evening. At this time, we'll call our public meeting to order. Can we all please stand and salute the flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Jamie, could you please read the sunshine statement and call the roll?
Be advised that proper notice has been given by the Township Council in accordance with the Sunshine Law in the following manner. Notice advertised in the Burlington County Times and Camden Courier Post on January 4th, 2024, and posted on the bulletin board on the same date. Mrs. Appiadu?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Jenny?
Here.
Mr. Lyon?
Here.
Mr. Burrell?
Here. Thank you, Jamie. First up tonight, we have a presentation of a proclamation. So I'm going to ask the council to come down, and Councilman Lynn Jenny will present the proclamation.
So I'm particularly honored to be able to present this in the absence of the mayor. I've known Jim and Gretchen and their son and my daughter went to school together. So I understand how the recognition is very appropriate for Mr. Miller. And if I could ask you to hold that for me. Whereas in May of 1969, aviation structural mechanic third class AMS3 Stephen J. Miller started his enlistment with the United States Navy, receiving his basic training as well as specialized training in aviation fundamentals, structural mechanics, basic hydraulics, and flight control at Naval Air Station Millington, Tennessee. And whereas after training, AMS3 Stephen J. Miller was stationed at Philadelphia Navy Base as an aviation metalsmith airman apprentice. AMS3 Stephen J. Miller would go on to serve with multiple units, including Attack Squadrons 42, 35, and 85 at Naval Air Station Oceana, Virginia Beach, Virginia. AMS3 Stephen J. Miller deployed with Attack Carrier Wing 17 aboard the USS Forrestal, embarking on a 6-month tour of the Mediterranean Sea in November of 1970. And whereas after completing his tour, AMS3 Stephen J. Miller returned home, finishing out his term of enlistment in October of 1975 at Naval Air Station Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, after over 6 years of faithful service to the United States Navy. And whereas during this time with the United States Navy, AMS3 Stephen J. Miller earned numerous awards and accolades to include, but not limited to, the National Defense Medal and the Letter of Commendation for Outstanding Performance regarding execution of duty as an A6KA6D mechanic during foreign service. And whereas AMS3 Stephen J. Miller continues to serve his community as a standout citizen, AMS3 Stephen J. Miller has participated in coordinating religious education programs and RCIA, volunteers for the St. Charles Borromeo Annual Carnival, and is a long-standing leader in Scouts. During his 25-plus years of scouting, AMS3 Stephen J. Miller has served as Assistant Den Leader and Assistant Pack Master of Cub Scout Pack 17, Merit Badge Counselor and Troop Committee Member of Boy Scout Troop 252, and Troop Committee Member, Merit Badge Counselor, Assistant Scoutmaster and Scoutmaster of Troop 25. AMS3 Stephen J. Miller still actively mentors and counsels Scouts as they strive for the rank of Eagle Scout and engages in recruitment efforts and fundraising events. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that on this day, February 13th, 2024, Mayor Gary Catrabone, Mayor of Delran Township, and the entire Town Council and citizens we serve do hereby express our appreciation to Aviation Structural Mechanic Third Class Stephen J. Miller for his service to our country and the citizens of the United States of America, and do hereby commend him for his acts of bravery in the fight on terrorism and securing democracy. We wish him continued success and safety in all his future endeavors.
Thanks so much.
Congratulations.
No cover charge, but you're welcome to stay here. All right. Next up, we have our ordinances on second reading. This is ordinance 2024-1, calendar year 2024 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. We do this every year. It's standard procedure. So this requires a public hearing. I'll entertain a motion to open the floor to public comment.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. The floor is open to public comment on ordinance 2024-1 only. Is there any comments? Please raise your hand. Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the floor.
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Floor is now closed. I'll now entertain a motion to approve or to adopt ordinance 2024-1.
Oh, so moved.
Second.
Jamie, could you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Apiadu?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Jenny?
Aye.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. The ordinance is adopted. Next up is ordinance 2024-2, an ordinance of the Township of Delran, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the municipal code to create Chapter 340 titled Vehicles, Small Unmanned Aircraft. This requires a public hearing as well. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Our floor is open to public comment on ordinance 2024-2. Are there any comments? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the floor.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Floor is now closed, right? And now, we didn't, right? Yeah, okay. Got lost there for a second. Now we'll entertain the motion to adopt ordinance 2024-2, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Jamie. Could you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Apiadu?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Jenny?
Aye.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. The ordinance is adopted. Next up, we have our ordinances on first reading, and this is ordinance 2024-3, an ordinance of the Township of Delran, Burlington County, New Jersey, amending the Township Code, Chapter 355, titled Zoning, to provide regulations for solar energy systems. I'll entertain a motion in a second to introduce the ordinance.
Motion. I'll second.
Jamie, could you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Apiadu?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Jenny? Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. The ordinance is introduced. Next up, we have items in our consent agenda. Council, are there any objections to those items? Any issues? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda and the items within.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you, Jamie. Could you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Apiadu?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Jenny?
Aye.
Mr. Lyon?
Aye.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. The consent agenda is adopted and the ordinance and the resolutions within. Next up, we have reports. First up, this evening's reports from emergency services. Seeing none here, we will not, Chief, do you have anything? Or are you good? Okay, thank you. SWAT. Next up is from our boards and committees. I do see representatives from our green team, so Deb Hammond, the chairwoman.
Good evening, Council and Delran. I'm Deborah Hammond. I am the chair of the Delran Green Team. Our green team had its first meeting 10 years ago tomorrow.
Congratulations.
In that time, we achieved bronze certification in 2015, and we have maintained that status and expect to recertify this year. We were also recognized by Sustainable Jersey with the statewide collaboration award, not once, but twice, for our work with the Delran schools. We have developed a forestry plan, updated our tree protection ordinance, and as a result, Delran is now a tree city. We don't compete with Lake Riverton, who has 35 years as a tree city, but, you know, we're there. We've planted and tagged over 100 trees in our parks and playgrounds. Some of the other things that we've done include planting a rain garden, starting a little library program that was picked up by our Boy Scouts, creating backyard chicken program, community cleanups, the wildflower garden, and the community solar program. We've also conducted well over 100 education and outreach events, including some campfires, sustainability on tap at throwbacks, missed them, and park nights, and of course, handing out seedlings and planting trees. We've also promoted recycling and reuse through our Halloween costume shop, our holiday light collection, and our plastic bag collection. So far, we've collected almost 900 pounds since July of just plastic bags. It's a lot of plastic. We're always looking for new things to do, and this spring we'll be focusing our efforts at Lake Lonnie. Up next in March, on the 23rd, we're going to kick off a Love Your Park campaign with 3 cleanups, and we'll be adding leaves to our Tree of Honor on March 26th, the council work session. We wanted to do it at the public meeting, but Al won't be here, and we couldn't do it without Al. So if you want more information or like to help out, you can send us an email at delran.green@gmail.com. We couldn't have done all this work without the support of the mayor and council and residents that help out too. And now I would like to introduce Rob for our annual forestry report.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robert Wachter. I am also a member of the Green Team. To maintain Delran's accreditation through the New Jersey Urban and Community Forestry Program, the Delran Green Team is submitting its 2023 Annual Accomplishment Report. In 2023, a total of 37 trees were removed from our public spaces, and this was largely due to the tornado event in April. Specifically in Conroe Park, we lost a decent amount of trees there. However, the Green Team, led by the efforts of Al Karp, was able to plant 19 new trees in our public spaces in 2023, and we also did maintenance work on 57 trees that were planted in previous years by the Green Team. The money spent on trees this year qualified Delran Township to maintain its Tree City USA status, as Deb alluded to earlier. The Green Team is hoping to increase its number of tree plantings this year using the funds gained through the Trees of Honor program, which commenced in October of 2023. So just to sort of further explain that program that Deb had mentioned earlier, for those who are unaware of it, the Tree of Honor program is a great way to honor a loved one while also supporting tree planting within our community. A donation of $100 will purchase a silver leaf to go on the memorial tree, which is on display in the lobby of the municipal building. And then a donation of $350 will purchase a gold leaf. Both of those leaves are going to be, they can be personalized to honor whoever you may choose. And the $350 donation will also get you a tree planted in a Delran park of your choice. All donations will be deposited into the Delran Tree Trust, which is a dedicated account that can only be used to purchase, plant, and maintain trees within our township. And through this program, we have already purchased 8 trees that will be planted this spring. The leaves for the memorial tree are being made by our Delran High School Fabrication Lab, and they will, as Deb mentioned, be on display starting in March. For more information and to donate to this program, you can visit our website, delrangreenteam.com. And additionally, we have a lot of events planned for this year. We have our Arbor Day celebration coming up on Saturday, April 27th. That is going to be held at Conroe Park. The celebration will include a free giveaway of tree seedlings and an honorary tree planting at the park. Additionally, we plan to continue our Kindergarten Grove program. So this was started in 2023. So this past year was the first year, and this would be the second year coming up this spring. Through this program, Delran class of 35 students and their families joined the Green Team in planting 3 new trees that were affectionately named Bob Elm, Ellie Lily, and Jimmy. So we look forward to seeing some graduation photos in 12 years' time with the students and their trees. And it will be a great way to recognize the growth of these students and their trees. And then outside of that, we do have a lot of trees that we are planning to plant this year. So if anyone is interested in volunteering to support those plantings, please reach out to us. We can be contacted at delran.green@gmail.com or through our Facebook and Instagram pages with the handle @sustainabledelran. And our Green Team meetings are held on the second Wednesday of every month at 7:30 p.m. in the municipal building, and we invite anyone who is interested to attend. Thank you.
Anything else? You guys good, Deb? Okay, great. Thank you very much for all the work you guys do. And we say it every meeting, but we're only as strong as volunteers. So thank you very much for all the hard work you guys do. Just let us know if you could just email. I'm sure Lynn will keep us up to date on those dates so we can be involved. Great. All right, next up is our administrator, Joseph Polina. Joe, anything?
Mr. President, just briefly, the Route 130 pipe bursting project, we're hopefully to engage a contractor at our next meeting in 2 weeks. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you, Joe. Next up is our clerk, Jamie Eggers. Jamie,
I have no report.
thank you. Mayor's not here. Next is our solicitor, Robert Wright.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Next, the reports from members of council. First up is Councilwoman Nikki Apiadu. Councilwoman?
Just want to say congratulations again to our honoree, and also to just say we really appreciate all the other people that are helping with the all the instances we had with the weather and flooding. Thank you to our volunteers also. That's it.
Great, thank you. Next is our Councilman Marlo Smith. Councilman?
Yes, just a couple quick items. Again, want to congratulate Seaman Miller and his family. He had a lot of folks here, so it was great to see everyone come out to celebrate his service. And again, it's one of my favorite things that we do is to honor our veterans in our community. So I wanted to make sure we took time to do that. So that's one thing. And then secondly, I know we did have a bit of weather today. Thankfully, didn't seem like we took the brunt of it. I know some areas got hit a little harder. So, but even with that, I know as tonight, I think the temperature is going to drop. So be careful as you're driving around, potentially with black ice. Just be mindful as you're driving with your speed. That's the end of my report.
Great, thank you, Councilman. Next up is Councilman Lynn Jenny.
Thank you, Council President.
Yep.
I want to congratulate Stephen Miller as well. And then just another example, and I've said it many times, the veterans that we honor, we find that they continue to serve their community in so many different ways. Mr. Miller has been involved in scouting so long, and I remember going to many Eagle presentations, and he was always there and active. So I wish him the best. And then the Green Team, I've been honored to be a liaison with them and work with Deb and some fantastic people who serve our community, residents of Delran, who are very engaged in helping our community remain green, working with a positive environmental impact. The tree of honor you may want to look at on the way out. And then the plantings, Al is always looking for help planting the trees. At one time, he was the sole planter of trees. And now he's finding more and more people are willing to help and work with him on that. So I congratulate the Green Team for all the hard work. That's my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next up is our Vice President of Council, Mr. Tom Lyon.
Thank you, Council President. Echo the congratulations to Mr. Miller, all his service, not only to our country, but our community. It's good to see some scouts here as well. And just to echo the Green Team, they do an amazing job. It's awesome that we're a tree city, and they just keep up the good work. Tomorrow, I'm going to be meeting with engineers, some other township officials to take a look at some traffic issues near bus stops in the Summer Hill section. We're getting some some complaints, people speeding, parked too close to the corners. So we're going to go out there and take a look, see what we can do to make it safer for our kids to not only get to the bus stop, but be on the bus stop. And hopefully we can alleviate some of those issues. And that's my report.
Great, thank you, Mr. Vice President. For my report, real quick, also want to congratulate Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller has been in the troop long before I was in the troop, and he was there when I was there. He's a great leader, and many of the scouts look up to him for guidance, and he's heavily involved with the Eagle Scout process. So, like you said, Lynn, they stay in the community and really become a part of it. So, much deserved to Mr. Miller, as I know him as. Also wanted to provide an update to folks regarding the river situation. We had a meeting with the township officials. I was there, Vice President was there, Joe, the mayor, and our engineer were there. We met with representatives from the Army Corps. What was the gentleman's name? Lieutenant Colonel? Yeah, Beaman was down, and he had 4 of his other engineers with them. We had a fair amount of folks with us. We met with them here in our office for a little bit to discuss some of the operations and the procedural things moving forward. And then ultimately, we took a tour down by the river, so they had a couple questions for us, so we gave them some answers. Just kind of some takeaways that I think are important for folks to note. I think the meeting went pretty well. I think most people will agree. They've identified some areas that we need to do. One of them is we're still working on the agreement with them that got caught up in their red tape. So we're moving forward with them. We need to execute that agreement so they can start the feasibility study. Second thing is the funding requirements have changed. Of course, the federal government needs more money. So, we're going to need, the township is going to need to put more money up in order to fund the feasibility study, which I'm going to urge all of my colleagues to do that. I'm sure we'll have no problem doing that. We just have to figure out what that amount is. There's actually a meeting with the Army Corps, I believe next week, to address some of this and keep the ball moving forward. So we intend to keep moving forward with that respect. The other thing we also pressed upon them specifically, I think I said it about 19 times, Tom probably heard me say it, and Joe, was that we also need, it's not just about the erosion control, we also need flood mitigation. And we made that very, very clear to them. They've presented a couple options to us in terms of other funding avenues and applications that we should apply to. There's a new program, a relatively new program called Section 566, which is just where it is in the law. It actually started out in Pennsylvania. Our inspector created a program that they had to deal with flooding issues. It was through a series of amendments. It now applies to South Jersey. So they informed us of that, or getting us that information. There's a meeting, I believe, next week on that. So we're learning about that program and going to move forward and apply to that to the extent we can. Right, Joe? Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct, when the funds become earmarked for it
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good, and that's, that program tends to be a little faster, they're telling us, but we had a preliminary discussion on it. We're moving forward with that. There's a meeting to address that, hopefully get some more information. So overall, the meeting went very well. They're engaged. We're engaged with them, and hopefully, we're going to keep the ball moving down the path. Okay? That's all I have for my report. At this time, we'll entertain public comments, so I'll ask for a motion to open the floor.
Motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. The floor is now open to public comment. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand. You will be recognized. At that time, you have 5 minutes to speak. All comments are part of the record, cannot be redacted or retracted after the fact. Are there any public comments? And also state your name and address for the record. Sir?
How you doing? John Harper, Riverside Park resident, life resident. First question was, when was the sewer plant built? Do you guys know?
I don't know off the top of my head, Joe. Do you know that answer? I have
Just
no
off the top of your
idea.
head, that's all.
Probably 35, 40 years ago now.
60s.
From what I understand.
It was updated in 96, 94.
There's been a series of updates. It's been there for a long, long time.
Yeah, I grew up, used to have the green fields where the greenhouses.
Yep.
And they got taken down and the tanks got put in. Next question is, why didn't anybody do anything with the Army Corps of Engineers and the Burlington County when they put the bike park up there? Army Corps of Engineers had to prove that, correct?
They didn't have to approve the bike path. The bike path was the county did that. That had nothing to do with us. So that's,
Okay, but,
the
yeah, but
federal
yours,
government, the federal government gave the county a bunch of money for this bike path. Eventually, it's going to connect. You're going to be able to take a bike from Delran all the way down to the shore. You know, God bless the people that do that, but that's going to happen. So,
I understand that, but you, as township representatives for our area, you didn't speak up and say, hey, we got flooding problems for the past 50 years. Can we do something before you do that? It's not like this is a problem that just happened yesterday.
yeah.
I mean, 50 years I've lived in there, and it's always flooded. And a lot of the flooding is due to high tide and rain. And yes, we do have flooding that comes over the bank because of the, you know, in the past, 50 years, 40 years, the water rose 6 inches over those years. That's understandable. But this is a frequent thing. It's not something, the bank has been eroded a lot. And, thank you for commenting on me, with me on Facebook. I appreciate that. You're the only one that spoke up. Nobody else did. Nobody else said nothing.
Yeah. Well, I try to comment as much as I can on Facebook. You
I
can
know.
always reach out to me personally. I'm here at the meetings. My phone number is online. My email, I'm happy to chat or meet with anybody.
What's the next thing to do before the next storm? What are you doing short term? You can talk long and tall tomorrow you want. 2011, you started talking to Army Corps of Engineers, quote, and we got nothing. So in a week before the next storm, hurricane season's coming. What are we gonna have to be out there with sandbags as residents, putting sandbags there? What are you guys doing short term? We're talking 6 months, a month, a year. You're not gonna get nothing done in 2 years down there. We all understand that. We know that. I mean, it's not a big thing to do, but the sewer plant is in jeopardy. And now you guys are alarmed because you got caught with your zipper down. That's
I
it.
don't know about that character.
Well,
but-
I mean, come on, look at it. You said you didn't see my pictures on Facebook, but you did. I posted them on 3 pages. Everybody here's seen them. I walked the
don't-
river. Well, then maybe you guys aren't in touch with what you need to be in touch with.
Yeah, I mean, the reason the sewer plant is there was the determination many, many years ago. It has to be there because it's the lowest point in the whole town. Because we
I understand
have a
that.
system, right? So someone somewhere
questioned
decided to
that.
put it there, right? We're facing rising sea levels, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, but that's over 50 years,
Yeah,
not
of
since
course.
2011. Let's be realistic here.
If we had, and I understand the issues down there, I empathize with you to the extent, I know people don't believe that, but I really do. If I sitting here today had a perfect solution that I could pull off the shelf and do it, there would be no reason I wouldn't do it, right? I would do it in a heartbeat. All of us would. I can speak for all of us, right? I'd be doing you a disservice if I told you there was a short-term solution that I had right now, right? That's why we had, these people from the Army Corps were the smartest people I think I've ever spoken to in the last year. I mean, the things they were saying and the questions they were asking and, you can do this law and this, and maybe, it's complicated, but they know what the hell they're doing. They're like, well, maybe we'll do a flooding study down here and that will, give us better information about what to do, whatever it may be. So we're relying on them because they're the experts in it, right? It's going to be slow, unfortunately, but, we pressed upon them, hey, we need to move fast, whatever the extent that is. So.
I mean, have you guys looked into getting a land survey so you could tell what is the lowest area on the bank? So this could be addressed immediately? I mean, I know everybody's waiting for Army Corps of Engineers. You're putting $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in the Army Corps of Engineers pocket to do a study. I mean, you could have a surveyor go down and tell you, hey, this is the lowest 3 points. You need to do this within the next 6 months and to make it feasible so it doesn't flood over the bank. Now, it may never happen in another year or two, but it's something to do. I mean, these are just general things everybody does. Now, another thing, I'm running out of time.
Yeah, but keep going. You got a little bit of time, yeah.
Okay, Amico Island, it's all man-made back there, the whole harbor. The island at one time was you could get access, then they removed that access. And then in the late 70s.
They did the bridge, yeah.
No, they made a bridge, they put pipes there.
Yeah.
We never, the flooding or the river problem or the dredge problem in the harbor never existed until they put those pipes there in 73. And I understand that was something that was from Amico Sand and Gravel did that so they could remove the dirt, because that's actually what built Route 130 bridge. If you guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard other people say that. I think
it's a big problem.
That issue is we've met with some of the marine folk. That issue is the dredging problem over there. That's the reason why
But
the
if you
marine
get rid of
is
those
out there.
pipes and put a bridge there, the dredging problem will eventually remediate itself due to the flow of the river like it was 50 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have to have those conversations with the county. That's the county, property there. I mean, it makes
mean,
total
you-
sense.
you-
I don't disagree with you.
You sit and look at Clark's Landing had to close the marina because
I know, yeah.
of Swedes Creek runoff filled that area, and that's all from overbuilding, in my eyes. And then you guys have tried to, in Riverside Park, tried to jam, but, 300 homes or condos, 200 condos there? You got, you had to fulfill your low income somehow, and you tried to jam them there, and that didn't work. Now you're going somewhere else.
Okay, that's all the time we have. If you're happy to talk to you afterwards.
All
if
right,
you want to
thank
say
you.
anything. Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Please raise your hand. Miss in the back?
Good evening. Connie Nielsen, Delran resident, 128 Natalie Road. I'm not really sure if I'm in the right place to ask the question, but I'm going to ask anyway. This is the first time I've come to a meeting. I live in a condo community, and we are having problem with our management and board. We've asked for an ADR. We haven't got our answer yet. I don't know if you have any ideas or where we can go to address this better.
That's going to be Joe or Bob. You got any, the
Which
HOA issue?
association is it? Number
Garden
one-
Club?
Garden Club, okay. And you haven't received what? I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
We had a meeting last Tuesday, was our normal meeting, and we asked for an ADR with a petition from the residents.
You asked for what?
I just can't hear you.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. We asked for an ADR. We had a
ADR,
petition,
okay.
which we gave the board. Yes.
I mean, it's a private matter, unfortunately, just the way it's written. I mean, I would probably look at legal representation if you want something like that.
Well,
I mean,
besides that, I didn't know if
okay.
anyone on
Yeah, I
this
don't know.
council would have any idea where to go, where to turn to,
you know,
anyone with the state.
Really just go out and get an attorney to represent the people
Okay.
that are seeking the ADR.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well,
The
thank
problem
you.
is the homeowner associations are written into your deeds and stuff, so there's nothing that we can do. I can't wake up tomorrow and say, get rid of it, right? So, all of you guys have to get together and modify the deeds or that type of stuff. So it's a convoluted process, but your probably best bet is reaching out to like your local bar association. You can go online, Burlington County Bar Association, and put in your zip code, and then they can help you find an attorney if that's something you're interested
Okay.
in.
Well, thank
Okay?
you.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer for you. I know a lot of people are. don't answer. Any other public comment? Just in the back.
Hi, Mary Janice, Westover Drive, Delran.
Well,
The day after the special township meeting on the flooding, coincidentally, I live on Westover Drive, and I'm right across the street from the park, and I have lived there for 50 years. So I'm very in tune to what's going on my street, and ironically, the day after the special township meeting, there was a township truck across the street, and they were cleaning up, there's a creek that runs through that park. And years ago, because I've been over at that park numerous times, I can't even count, you could always see the creek. For years, because I still walk over that park, you can't even see the creek. It is so overgrown and totally covered. It looked like it was totally dried up. And so this has to do with our sewer system because that water runs through there. So,
that's a stormwater management. That's not our sewer.
oh, okay, so there's that storm drain there. So the township was over there. There was so much debris and leaves. A second truck pulled up, and there was so much stuff cleaned out of that park and out of that creek, but they barely made a dent. Is this something that they're going to continue to work on?
Yeah, Joe, do you have any information about?
I don't have an update on that, but I'll certainly get one. Yes.
Okay, would you be, how could I get the update? Would you post this on the Delran Township website, or where can I?
Something simple as leave me with your phone number and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Or your email, we can reach back out to you. I know exactly what you're talking about. We used to play jailbreak and things.
Yes, we did. Freeze tag, all that, baseball. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Any other public comment? It's in the back.
Hi, Leslie Sweet, 74 Stewart Ave. I was wondering how long the dumpster will be remaining on our street. Most of us already got rid of stuff, but I guess some of us still have stuff to get rid of.
Yeah, Judge, how long is that contract for? Do you know?
We didn't put a drop dead on it. Do you need more time?
I mean, I got rid of most of my stuff the week it happened, so.
Okay. So you.
But I don't know, like, I mean, we still have more stuff to get rid of, but I can just put it on the curb.
I mean,
Okay.
our goal is so it's there so you can get rid of stuff. If you're telling us at the point that.
I can't heave it over the top.
Gotcha, okay.
It's difficult.
Doesn't
for
have an
furniture.
opening on the side, does it?
No, not those. No, we got a
Okay.
big one. So you want it out right away? We'll,
No, I'm saying I can put it on the curb. I was just wondering how long it's gonna be there for like extra bags or whatever we have to
Yeah.
get rid of for
I'll
general.
try to keep it another
Anyone in
week,
the area.
for Sure, I'll try to keep it another week.
Yeah, I mean, we want it there for you guys to use, so we're not gonna rip it out tomorrow unless you need it.
Yeah, I was just
We
curious.
also don't want to leave it out for 6 months and then, it becomes a problem, so.
And then you had mentioned in the last meeting that there were gonna be storm drain corrections or fixes made on Stewart Ave. I was
Yeah, there's a
curious what
bunch.
that process
Yeah,
is.
Joe
and-
may have a little more information. There's a whole project associated with the storm.
Yeah, there's
drain.
it's a multi-year project. The first phase of it, which starts down by the water and works up, is, it's actually currently out to bid. That includes, any storm drainage repairs that you had just indicated, of course, the resurfacing of the roadway as well.
Okay,
It'll be over 2 years. The first phase will be done probably during the spring and summer months of this year, with the second phase probably a year hence, at or about the same time period.
are they adding more drainage as well?
I think on the first phase, there's some areas that they've enhanced, but there wasn't much in the way of it, but a lot of it was repairs.
There's just a lot of sitting water.
And there's
that's
the
growing.
more inlets being installed as well, which help move the water more quickly off the roadway.
And then as far as that pipe that goes out, that's supposed to push it out, is that being addressed as well?
Yes,
Because
yeah.
that's not,
Yeah, that's part of the
functioning.
project.
That's part of the project.
Yep.
okay. All right, thank you.
No problem. There was a question up here earlier, or a comment? Okay, good. Look at that. Any other public comment? Last call. There you go. I knew it was coming.
Joan Kerstetter, 10 River Drive. The outfall pipe, does anybody inspect that?
Joe's on the hot.
The outfall pipe, I guess you call it. Does anybody ever inspect that? I don't see anybody around.
I don't know when it was last done, ma'am.
Well, there's about a 40-foot tree that's stuck on the end of that from the storm. So I don't know whether that's holding the cap closed or the cap open, because, it wasn't working.
We were just there. I didn't.
Yeah, it's there. I
Still
see it
there
every
on-
day. The
on
birds
Stewart
sit on
side.
it.
The Stewart one?
Stewart Avenue,
Okay.
yeah,
We'll have someone take a look at it.
yeah.
Okay,
All right,
Joe, you got that note?
I sure do.
okay,
great.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the floor.
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Our floor is closed. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion